What is up, guys? Jake here with the next Vainglory Beginners Series video, and this one is entitled Winning. This is tips just to help you win. This game is going to be incredibly frustrating if you just lose over and over and over. You're not going to have fun, and you're probably not going to get better and stick with the game. But if you get that taste of winning, it really draws you into the game, and that's when you start wanting to get better and better. Because when you lose that match, you're like, man, I could have done better than that. I made this mistake, or I made that mistake, and it makes you come back. Sort of like Clash of Clans does when you fail an attack on that. So it has that similar thing, but in my opinion, even better competition because you're going against someone else. You're going against someone that's making decisions, and you are trying to literally outsmart them in real time. So there's some again, this is a beginner's guide. I'm not telling you this is going to let you win every match. Obviously, it's not, but it's going to give you some things to think about that are going to help you increase your win percentage. I promise you, if you put them to good use. Also, I know you guys are chomping at the bits for some gameplay, so I decided on this one, instead of just staring at me walk around the map, I'm going to actually play a match in the background, just sort of edited and fit to make the time work. So I hope you enjoy that. The first thing I'm going to tell you is don't be too aggressive. You are not Iraqi Zoro, and for people that don't know who that is one of the best players in the world. You're going to see sometimes these people doing 1 versus 3s and crazy stuff like that. That's not you, especially as a beginner. Don't be over aggressive. Play it safe. If you don't know if there's a bush right there, that you don't know if the enemy is waiting on you for an ambush, if you don't have a flare, don't go in there. Go another way. Go a safe route. If you're playing in a lane, don't try to push that turret in the first 5 minutes. Don't worry about it. Get your farm your minions, get your gold, build your build, and play it safe. Don't be overly aggressive. That goes for the junglers as well. Jungle on your side, if you have the opportunity to take someone out and then go in and quick grab their jungle, that's obviously do that. That's not being aggressive. That's being smart. But don't try to just make a move when you don't know the situation. If you're a melee hero, especially, don't just run in and start hitting someone if they're right next to something where their whole team could be waiting on you. Once you start playing this game, you might learn people sometimes bait. Someone will just sort of walk out and back into a bush and back out. They're trying to draw you in there. Don't take that bait. Again, if you don't have vision, if you don't know what's there, play it safe, and I think you're going to have fewer deaths, and fewer deaths are going to equal more wins. And that goes for your whole team. Don't try to grab the gold mine if you don't know that where the enemy team is. They might be sitting there waiting for you to grab that gold mine. And all of a sudden you die and they get the gold mine. That's a huge swing. If you and your other jungle carry go in and try to grab that gold mine, both of you die and they get the gold mine. That's huge. That's massive. So play it safe. Let them make that mistake and try to grab the gold mine, and you take it from them. Then it turns in your favor. Just things like that, guys. I'm just telling you in general. Don't be over aggressive. Play it safe, and you're going to be more successful in general, especially early gameplay against other people, because they're going to make mistakes. That's one thing you need to remember. The people that you're playing against, if you're in tier 3, tier 4, you are going to be playing against people that are going to make mistakes. So just wait for it. Capitalize on it. Don't be the one making the mistakes. You've heard me say it a million times, but I'm going to say it again a million more times. Stick together. Stick together. If you are the carry and your jungler is doing something crazy, support it. Go with him. Stick with him. Try to make the best of it. If you are the jungler and your carry is doing something crazy, lag behind a little bit. Don't be rushing out in front, but stick together. If even on a bad mistake, even on a bad move, a bad decision, if you do it together, you have a lot better chance of an outcome being positive than it is being negative. If he goes in by himself or you go in by yourself, 90% chance it's going to turn out bad. They're going to get you a 2-on-1 or a 3-on-1. He's going to be dead, and then they can just bully the other two. What I see so many times is like someone makes a bad decision and he's by himself, so he dies. Well, then all of a sudden the other two are coming in to quote rescue him. Well, now it's a 3-on-2. They die, and it just snowballs. So that goes back to not being aggressive, not being the one to make that mistake. And 2, had they all been there together as a team, maybe had a chance of winning the fight, even going into a bad situation. Another one that you've heard me say over and over is farm. I think people get hung up on the lane is some kind of area that the laner is delegated to, and they can't leave that area. That's not true. The reason that people lane is for two reasons. One is to keep the minions cleared so that their turrets can be defended. You know, if the minions are standing in front of the turrets and the turret is helpless, it's going to be shooting the minions, and the enemy team can hit that freely. So the laner's job is to keep that area clear of minions to where the turret can actually do its job and defend. And also, that's where he farms. So the laner's job is simply to farm there, get those minions, get that gold, allow the jungle team to farm the jungle and get their gold there. But it's perfectly acceptable and very wise for once that area is clear, when you're not being an aggressive laner, you're not trying to push that turret in the first 5 minutes, rotate down. Rotate down and just check on them. Your minions are clear. The next wave's not there. Or you've cleared it out and your minions have pushed forward so that it's going to be a little bit to your minions come close to your turret again. Go rotate down. You'll be surprised how often you can catch the other team with a 2-on-3, wipe them out, and then just go right back up. And again, that's when you get into snowballing. It just goes from bad to worse for the enemy team. They die. You take a little bit of their jungle. You get the gold from their deaths. They're down for a while. They're not farming. And if that happens 2 or 3 times, you've got the major advantage come mid-game. So treat the lane like what it is, especially early game. It's a place for you to farm. So get your farm and get it safely, and keep the minions away from your turret. If you've done those 2 things, you're successful as a laner in early game. So do that as a beginner and rotate down often, and you're going to be a rock star. If you're in the jungle, obviously follow the jungle steps. Let that jungler get those last hits. Jungler, let that carry hit it first. You're going to get more gold. It's better for everybody. Just be smart, farm. Don't be looking for those early 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute fights. That's insane. You're wasting time. Even if you win, they're back up in 10 seconds. You might grab a little bit of their fronts. You're probably not going to get their backs early game because they are going to be up so quickly they can get back to it. If the opportunity is there, don't turn it down to get a quick kill, but don't just go looking for an early game fight as a beginner. I know there's strategies where people pick certain heroes and they press the jungle right out of the gates. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a beginner's guide. Don't try that. If it's there in front of you and you know you can take them out quickly, do it. If it's just, hey, there they are, let's go get in a fight, that's crazy. Don't do that. Stick to your side. If they're sticking to their side, get your build up. Try to outfarm them. Try to have that to where you've bought and they haven't, that moment before you engage for a fight. And I think, again, that's going to help you. It's going to help you because you're not being that overly aggressive person that wants to pick a fight early. All of a sudden it goes bad because your team's not on the same page as you are. You're not able to communicate, and the snowball starts the other direction. So try to do that. The other thing that I see a lot of times with beginners is spreading out their damage. Pick a target. If you can get good at actually pinging a target right as a fight is about to happen and know who you should be targeting, let me caveat saying that. I see so many times of jungle carries or anybody, all of a sudden a Catherine will walk out. Well, they start dropping their abilities on her. Well, then here comes Koshka, and here comes Cruel, and here comes all these other heroes behind, and they have nothing for them besides an auto attack. Make sure that you're targeting one of their damage dealers, not the tank, not the person that's just standing there trying to protect everybody else that can't really kill you even if they had the drop on you. Wait for it. It's fine to put an auto attack or 2 on them and make the enemy think you're engaging, but save all your abilities, save all your good stuff, your stuns, your nukes, your ultimates. Save that for that Celeste hanging back in the background, or that Koshka that's coming to jump in and try to take everybody out. Pick a target and everybody attack that target. Know how, again, if you have someone in the team that can ping a target quickly and direct everyone's fire to that particular target, you can burst down that one enemy defender, and then all of a sudden it's a 3-on-2. And even if you're low health, even if they got some shots on you, a 3-on-2 is going to turn so quickly in favor of you, you just wouldn't believe it. So many times I see, a fight breaks out, and the next thing you know, all 3 of the enemy team is, at 30% health. Well, what if all of that damage had been focused on one target? Obviously, that target would be dead, and you'd be facing a 2-on-3, and they would either have to retreat or face death there. So pick a target, everyone target that target, and make sure it is a wise target. Make sure it's the highest threat. If it's Scarf sitting back there just dropping fireballs on you, or Celeste dropping helos on you, or anything like that, Cruel that's about to come in and start putting stacks on everybody and just wrecking face, pick that highest threat target, take it down, and then switch to the next one, and everyone target again the next one. And if you can develop that skill, if you're not on like a voice communication where you can just call it out, if you can develop that skill of pinging during the fight, that is a valuable skill to have, and it really will make a team better, especially when you're playing with other beginners, early elo stages and stuff like that. It will change the outcome of fights for you. So that's the last tip there. Well, sort of the last tip. The next one is just sort of a prelude to the very last beginner's video that I can think of that I'm going to do right now. So we're going to have one more of these. I'm going to try to get it out for you guys tomorrow because, again, I know you're ready for some gameplay. And once that's done, we'll be into the gameplay, and that's all we'll have from that point, unless I think of another beginner video later on. But that is counter building. And there are some finer points of counter building, but there's also some hard and fast rules. And the next video is going to cover those. So I want you guys to be preparing for that and be thinking about it, because there's certain heroes that, and I've mentioned some of them before, but I'm going to mention some more, that just require certain things. I mean, there's just no exception. You know, you run into a Cruel, you get an Atlas Pauldron. That's just the way it is. There's no exception to it. It's just his build is all based on attack speed. You get something like that. If you run into an Arden, you get a Crucible. You let your team out of that gauntlet. That's all. That's his major threat. Yeah, he's got a few attacks. His gauntlet is what changes fights. If you can eliminate that, you've eliminated him from the fights in essence, or his fight-changing ability. And there's more. We're going to get into those again next video. Doing it to the basics of counter building, and then some specifics of counter building, like those few things. And when you do little things like these, and it's a cumulative thing, then all of a sudden you're a pretty solid player. And if you get with a couple other guys that are doing the same thing, y'all have got a pretty solid team. And you're going to be wrecking most of the people you run into, because they're not going to have a solid team. They're going to have people that are making mistakes, fighting over a farm, don't know how a contract works. They're going to be facing your Arden, and the carry is going to rush, you know, Aegis instead of a Crucible. So they're going to be making those mistakes. You're not, and that's going to give you the advantage. And this game can change on very, very slight advantages. So I hope these tips have helped you. This, I do believe, if you practice these, will help you be a more successful beginner. You're going to win more. You're going to have more fun. I guess the easiest way to say it is you're going to suck less. So be looking forward to tomorrow's video, hopefully tomorrow, on counter building, and then we will be into the gameplay series. And I hope you guys are excited for that, because I am excited to bring it to you. Until next time, guys, Jake here, doing my best to help you guys suck less.